My name is Asher, and currently we're probably gonna rank the Hong Kong universities. I've been looking forward to doing this ranking for a large margin, and now I finally have the ability to do this ranking because somebody uploaded this ranking in the tier list maker. So thank you for that. You did a lot of help. And don't look at the tier now because it's garbage. It's garbage. I'm probably gonna put this down at first. And I'm gonna begin. Yeah. So currently, Hong Kong is kind of like a special place in the educational spectrum because Hong Kong actually has extremely good educational program in Asia. It's just falling behind Tokyo and Singapore, and it's kind of like equivalent, even in some instances, equivalent to all these universities, all these countries, and also it provides extremely high paying job, and also it's like its employment rates are just good, are just chef's kiss. So basically, Hong Kong is doing a pretty good job right now. Although some of its rankings have been falling in rankings, but the others are increasing in rankings, like CUHK. So I think yeah, they deserve like a ranking towards it. Not a lot of people have ranked it before personally, so I'm gonna rank it in terms of its ranking, its living standard once more, and also its kind of its whole potential. Its whole potential, because potential matters in Asia. Many universities, like for example, Malaya University, which tends to have an extremely good reputation in the past, currently is falling in rankings and falling behind many other universities in Asia, taking over by universities in Japan and universities in Taiwan. So yeah, I think yeah we should probably start ranking all these. Now, firstly, is HKU. Now, this is easy yes tier. HKU is often recognized as the Harvard in Asia, and it's not wrong. Like it is Harvard in Asia, and it kind of still is, although it has been challenged many times by Tokyo University, Seoul University, National University of Singapore, Singapore Technical University, and also many other universities. Currently, it's still staying strong. It's still kind of like the Harvard in Asia, but it has been falling in ranking recently, like from 21st to 29th in QS. It has good programs. It has an extremely good medical program. Like it's currently number three in Asia. If I think, yeah, number three or number four in Asia, and in terms of the world, it's kind of like top 50. So that's pretty decent. And in terms of its dentistry, it's extremely good, like the number one in Asia, hands down number one. That's undebatable. Like it's extremely good at that in terms too, and also it kind of attracted all the resources from the British. The British kind of treated it like their own kid, so that paid off surely, and and now currently has a lot of good alumni. Like it has Nobel prizes, but like it only has a couple of prizes, not in every spectrum. Like there are Nobel prizes, but not Tulin prizes, but not Fritz prizes. Of these others, like in other fields of study. But in terms of biology and engineering, and also biomedical engineering, is probably the best or one of the best in Asia and in Hong Kong. So yeah, here it is. In terms of living standard, I think it's I think its living standard is kind of low in terms of the other Asian universities, but in terms of Hong Kong, is kind of in the middle of everywhere because it's kind of like a building. It's kind of like a top building. It's not that big. It's not even the top three in Hong Kong, I think, in terms of its size. So that definitely like it lowers the ranking. And I heard from there because I visited Hong Kong for many times and probably staying in Hong Kong for a while. So I kind of did a survey upon it. Many students believe that Hong Kong University provides decent, decent student life, but at the same time having extremely bad dormitories. Like there are bugs everywhere, and also, although you have like air conditioning, but it seems that bugs from Hong Kong doesn't fear all these cold climates, so that's strange. But yeah, overall, pretty good university. Harvard in Asia, hands down. So yeah, next one, CUHK. Now, if Hong Kong U is the Harvard of Asia, I think CUHK is kind of like the Yale of Asia, or at least the Princeton of Asia. Yeah, kind of like that. CUHK in the past have been ranked the number five in Asia. Oh, sorry, number five in Hong Kong, but currently it has been increasing in ranks. Currently being at the number two in Hong Kong, or in U.S. news, even number one. Currently ranked at 53rd place. Hong Kong U 55th place. But its QS is 47th place, so it still have 19 ranks to catch up. But in terms of its student life, it's by far one of the best in Asia, the best in Hong Kong, because it has the best dormitories. It has a total of 11 colleges. It has good colleges like New Asia University, like pretty good but bad canteens. It has pretty good colleges like Union College or Chungchi College. That's pretty good also. But it also had bad colleges like, for example, Shaw College, which is in terms of other Hong Kong universities, living standard is still good, but in terms of other colleges in CUHK, it's pretty bad because it's not clean. It has a lot of bugs, but still quite modern. Quite modern. Yeah, it even has a theater, and besides, it's named after Sun Yat Sen, so that explains a lot. In terms of Madison, it's currently ranked number two in Asia. Hong Kong U number three or number four. It has been climbing in rankings. In the last year, I think it's 38th or 49th. Currently, it's 29th. That's pretty good. Pretty good progress, I believe. It's always increasing in its major rankings, although it has falling rankings in overall, like 38th to 47th currently. But towards its potential, it has much more potential than the other universities, especially Hong Kong University, because it's by far the biggest university in Hong Kong. We're one of the biggest in Asia. So yeah, that explains a lot, and also many people are investing in it, like Shaw Finance Foundations. I think it's investing in it, and yeah, it's been paying off. Like it's been paying off. And also the Jockey Club has been investing in it. It has also been paying off. Its business program are decent. Number three or number four in Hong Kong, and in top 20 in Asia. No, not top 20. Like top 20 or top 10 in Asia, but like top 50 or top 70 in the world. So yeah, it's actually pretty good. Falling behind HKUST and HKU in terms of its economics major. But overall, pretty good university. If you're studying medicine, you should probably go to Hong Kong U. CUHK, Chinese University of Hong Kong. And next one, we have HKUST. Now, HKUST has been falling in rankings dramatically these years. Its highest rank has been 38th place, just like CUHK, but very different from CUHK. Uh, it but in terms of its prospects, I wouldn't say it's very delightful. Its potential is quite dim quite dim in terms of its future, because many investors are just bailing out, because I don't know, I don't really know why, but they're just bailing out because they believe HKUSD is kind of like a boat that's gonna sink, and it kind of is. Its rankings are falling from top 50 to top 70, now to top 80 or top 90, and that pretty much explains the whole situation. Towards its living standard, decent, just like Hong Kong U, but a little bit better than Hong Kong U. In terms of its convenience, it's not very convenient. Like HKU has markets around them, CUHK has a freaking supermarket just be inside its building, although it doesn't provide a lot of groceries or a lot of products or commodities to buy. But still, CUHK has a freaking hair salon inside of it. That's pretty good, but HKUST doesn't. So HKUST probably and not the S tier. Like in the past, I would say like in the 2019 or 2018 or 2020 or 2021, I would say HKUST is the S tier, probably before CUHK, better than CUHK. But currently, it's been falling in rankings, and everybody knows it's a sinking boat. Is even being succeeded by freaking PolyU. So yeah, HKUST been followed. You failed from grace. So yeah, you failed from grace. So you're putting you in A tier. Next one, CityU. Now, in terms of convenience, it's pretty convenient, I would say. In terms of, it's in freaking Kuala Lumpur. It has supermarkets inside. It's freaking university is built inside the supermarket, so it's gonna be paid off, and also has extremely good exchange programs, just like HKUST or CUHK or Hong Kong U. But on the other hand, it's much smaller in size. Although it's trying to build a lot of places, build a lot of new buildings by the Shaw administration. So yeah, that's been paying off. But in terms of its students, I've been doing a survey, and it turns out that not a lot of people want to answer my surveys. Like its hospitality is just much lower than the other universities, including HKBU, and like HKBU. Yeah, that explains a lot in terms of its hospitality anyway. So yeah, CityU probably not S tier. Although many people may think it's S tier, it's not. It's not S tier. Not slightly. Is it A tier? I believe kinda, but in a lower spectrum of A tier. I think so. Towards yeah, in the lower spectrum of A tier, and towards its rankings, the QS like freaking 60 or 50. Uh, that's coming before HKUST, but its US news are freaking are just freaking low. Like currently ranked at 140th. That's not good. That's not good by the slightest, being Hong Kong University. So yeah, CityU over here, pretty convenient. If you're studying economics, go to CityU, go to HKUST. If you're studying medicine, go to Hong Kong U or CUHK. If you're studying engineering, I think all these schools are decent, but if you have to let me decide, I think it's probably HKUST. Like yeah, that's saying a lot. City is kind of like it's kind of like Waseda University in Tokyo, but having higher ranks. It's kind of like how do you say this? It's kind of like um how to say this? It's kind of like NYU. I would say its rankings are not its ranking, like its position in Asia is kind of like the position of NYU in New York or in US, because it has good rankings, but like it's definitely top 30 in Asia, just like the US. But on the other hand, it's not it's not that famous. It has a sounding name. It's not a famous. It has good alumni, but it's not. It's being prestigious, but not being most or one of the most prestigious, like CUHK or HKU. So yeah, that's kind of like it. Like if HKU is Harvard, then CUHK is Yale, or or at least Stanford or Princeton, and HKUST would probably be the MIT or the Caltech. Uh, you know what? I think it's probably Caltech in Asia, like because Singapore University of Science and Technology is probably the MIT, and HKUST is probably the downgrade from that. So it's kind of like Caltech in terms of its research capabilities. CityU is kind of like NYU. So yeah, that's like trying to let you understand the position of these universities in Asia. And probably the first one explaining these universities in this way. I love my job, and now currently PolyU, like PolyU is, you know what? I think PolyU is kind of like Georgia Tech, if I have to say. is kind of like Georgia Tech in terms of its research capabilities, but in terms of its rankings, it's the number fourth ranking, like that is number four university that has all its rankings in top 100, both in U.S. News and in QS, and also in the university ranking. So and also in AWRU. So I think like PolyU is doing pretty doing pretty good currently. It has been falling in rankings since 2022, but it's doing pretty good still. Like every Asian university is falling in rankings. That's just normal, I think. So PolyU, pretty good university, good exchange programs between like it and Canada and the U.S. and also it and Europe. It has exchange programs with with Munich University, I think, and also Munich Technical University, and also with Oxford University. It has pretty good exchange programs, but not as good as CUHK or HKU, but just as good as HKUST. It's I think in terms of its rankings, it's before CityU, but after HKUST. It's trying to succeed HKUST, currently. But in Hong Kong people's eyes or minds, the HKU and CUHK and HKUST is kind of like the Hong Kong three, the HK3 universities, and it's gonna be forever. But still, in terms of international recognition, PolyU is kind of succeeding HKUST in many spectrums. It is good at engineering, probably one of the best in Hong Kong, just falling behind HKUST. Uh, in terms of medicine, doesn't really have a medical program, but it has pretty good medical specific majors. For example, like CT scans, they're pretty good at that parts, and also since its building is like the red building, they have like the three red building favorites, where the three building like precious precious treasures, I think. The three were like precious majors in terms of its rankings. It has the best, and I mean the best, like CT scanning capabilities in Hong Kong. Were one of the best in Asia. It has a pretty decent economics program, and also in terms of its international recognition, it's pretty good also. But towards living standard, CityU, HKUST is much better than PolyU's, but still PolyU is better than HKU. Like HKU is kind of like it's kind of like the lower spectrum, the butt of all jokes in terms of his living standard. So yeah, and next one we have PolyU. Now PolyU, sorry, HKBU, HK Baptized, Hong Kong Baptized University. Now this university is kind of like the A minus or B tier. I think it's B tier. Now, why I say it's B tier is because HKBU has good exchange programs. It's a baptized university. It's Christian. It is being funded by Christian communities, and it's one of the best Christian universities. Where like religious universities in Asia, we're the best religious university in Asia. And also in terms of living standard, is not that good, but not that bad either. Just like PolyU, but a little bit better. In terms of its convenience, HKUST is by far the worst. HKBU is better in terms of that, but still, I've been to HKBU before. It only has like it has a old and new building. In its old building, it's just horrible. It's just like terrifying. It doesn't even freaking have a grocery store. Its only store is kind of like their only souvenir store, and its grocery store, and its bookshop, and its front desk, kinda. So that's not good. That's not good in the slightest bit. So yeah, but in terms of hospitality, they have a lot of hospitality. Really, they have a lot of hospitality in terms of that. They're really outgoing. They try to show me the way. Although the whole university is kind of like 600 kind of like pretty small in terms of its size, but still bigger than HKU. So yeah. So yeah, in terms of research capability, it's probably the worst in all of the sixth. But the other universities are all good. It's a pretty decent university in Asia. It's one of the better ones, but not the better ones. Is And in terms of its majors, it has the best. I think it's the best journalism major in terms of journalism. I think the best, but like journalism is not. You cannot say that journalism is kind of like a top tier major. Like journalism is not like engineering or medicine or computer science or architecture. Like journalism is just journalism. You could learn them. Like number one is not very different from number seventh. Number seven is not very different from number 28th in term of its research capabilities or even its alumni. I think, like for example, CUHK has a pretty good alumni of journalists. HKU has pretty good alumni towards journalists. HKBU has a pretty good alumni towards journalists, but that doesn't shine them out. Yeah, yeah, in terms of journalism, you could go to this university. It's probably the best in Asia, but the other universities are not falling behind by a large margin. So be aware of that. So yeah, and next one we have, Hong Kong Educational University. This university is kinda like it's kind of strange because you cannot rank them by an overall ranking because it's kind of like an educational university. It's more like an institution rather than a university. It's more like a training center. I've been to educational university before. It's quite how do you say this? It's quite rusty and it's quite old. It's not modern at all. The last time it renovated is kind of like in 1990s. So yeah, but in terms of its educational capabilities, its education, it is the best in Asia. Number 17th in the world. That's fantastic. That's just freaking fantastic. But the other rankings are just horrible. Like it's second best major is kind of like the 170th in the world. Not bad, but not good either. So yeah, it has provided like this university kind of like institution. Why I say this university is an institution because it is the only resort in Hong Kong that can provide you with the educational degree. Like if you want to educate in Hong Kong U, if you want to be a professor in CUHK, if you want to be a alumni or an associate professor or a fellow in HKUST, you have to go through the training sessions of this educational university. So yeah, I think it deserves a B tier, but B minus C plus. The next one, Lingnan University. Now, Lingnan University, it has a pretty bad place because it's just beside an airport. I've been to Hong Kong International Airport before, and I tried to link to the like the Wi-Fi in the airport, like the airport Wi-Fi, but in the end, I linked to the freaking Lingnan University's Wi-Fi, and I didn't know how that turned out. So yeah, it's not like it's just beside a freaking airport, and it's its logo resembles a mountain, I believe, but really its logo. I think its logo is quite old fashioned. I think I've been to its page before, and its page just freaking sucks. It came right out of the 2000s, the 2000s, the millennium, the millennium years, the millennials, freaking. So yeah, it's not that good in terms of that prospects. It is not good in any major. It's been falling in ranking since then. It's one of the universities that is being subsidized by the government, like the last universities that have been subsidized by the government. There are 8 universities that has been subsidized by the government, which is the all the universities are just said and ranked just now, and also this Lingnan University. But in terms of its capabilities, really, Lingnan University is not the place to go. It is one of the universities in Asia. It is top, I would say top 100 in Asia, but that's not explaining a lot. It's it's in Hong Kong, but it doesn't look like a Hong Kong university. So yeah, I think yeah, in terms of living standard, it's not good either. I believe in terms of in terms of its size, it's just after like Hong Kong U. So yeah, I think it deserves like a C or even D place, C place. I think, Hong Kong Metropolitan University or Hong Kong Open University, like it's changing names. That's telling you that this university is a freaking scam. Now, this university does provide decent programs. It does not provide exchange programs a lot. Its rankings are just bad. It's straight up just not join any rankings. So yeah, it's not that good in terms of that prospects. It is expensive. It is not internationally recognized. It is not in some instances it's not even recognized by China or not recognized by Hong Kong, its own government, and it's a for-profit university. Although it says it's not, in terms of living standard, it's just like Lingnan University, but a little bit better. So I think it deserves like a D tier. Yeah, yeah, D tier. Like it's a cheapskate. The next one, this is like the Hong Kong Henshin University. I think Hong Kong Henshin University has a good business program, one of the best in Hong Kong, or like top 50 or at least top 60 in Asia. Uh, it is a little bit better in terms of its like majors. At least it's better than Lingnan or Metropolitan. These universities that doesn't even have like doesn't even have like a sounding, like a strong major. And in terms of convenience, it's pretty convenient. It provides good employment prospects because it is built by Henshin. If you're studying like business, and you can straight up straight up just join Henshin Bank, and you're gonna earn a buck. So that's good employment prospects. So I think it deserves like a higher spot, like just before Metropolitan University. You know what? I think because overall, like Metropolitan University and this university didn't even join a single ranking. I think, and Lingnan did. So in terms of that, Lingnan is better. But in terms of ranking, like Henshin is like the best of C tier. But yeah, overall it's not that good. Next one, Shue Yan University. Now, this university is a private institution, but kind of public. And I never heard a lot from this university. It's kind of like how to say this. In the past, it's kind of like a community college. I would say kind of like a community college, in terms of its reputation, like the community college in Hong Kong, kind of like that. In terms of employment prospects, if you're from Hong Kong, you would rather not go to this university. You would just go into the into the employment markets. You needed to go to this university. You could just freaking just straight up go into the job market, and you're gonna find a better job than going to this university and spending thousands of money in its tuition. But still, if you want like an educational degree or a degree from a university, then this is the way to go. If you want to freaking earn a Hong Kong ID card, then okay, you can go to this university also. But in terms of international recognition, this university is probably the worst in Hong Kong. Yeah, probably the worst by a large margin. But it's not a bad university. Like, it's not bad, but still, It's not even decent. It's not even average. It's lower than average. But still, every state is gonna have good and bad universities. You cannot just expect every university to be good. So yeah, this university is probably belonging in the F tier. Next one, SF University, SFU. Now SFU, I've researched upon it. Like SFU is kind of like a international chain of universities. Kind of like Wollongong University of Australia. Wollongong University of Australia, I believe, is kind of like a chain of universities, like a union college. But in terms of employment prospects, I think it's at least better than Shue Yan or Metropolitan. But in Hong Kong, it's falling short behind Henshan University. So I think SFU is kind of like before that. But still, it is a chain of universities, a poor for profit university. It is not even a state of the it's not even a regional university in Hong Kong. So basically, if you are like international and you're trying to go into a university, then this is one of the places that should be recommended. But in terms of international recognition, in terms of like ranking, like subject rankings, it's not that good. It's not a real university. So yeah. Now here's the rankings. Now here is what I'm going to explain quite simply. Like quite simply, I'm just going to compare these universities with U.S. university to let you have like an overall recognition of what these universities resembles. If Hong Kong U is the Harvard of Asia, then Harvard of Asia, then CUHK is probably the Yale or Princeton of Asia, and HKUST is probably the Caltech of Asia, and also PolyU is kind of like Georgia Tech. I would say it's kind of like Georgia Tech of the U.S. Of Asia. CityU is kind of like the NYU of Asia. Like yeah, like not in terms of rankings. Like CityU, like NYU is ranked better than Georgia Tech, but still like PolyU in terms of overall rankings, in terms of its own rankings, is better than CityU. PolyU, sorry, HK Hong Kong Baptist University. I would say it's kind of like, how would I say this? It is kind of like Saint Jose University in California, or how do you say this? Where Texas Christian University is kind of like that, is kind of like one of the the best Christian university, but not that's not explaining a lot. So yeah, it's decent. Like Hong Kong Educational University. How would I say this? It's kind of like, how would it's kind of like UCSF. It's kind of like University of California, San Francisco, because just like UCSF, they have extremely good majors. They don't offer any major in its bachelor's degree. They are extremely good at their own specific majors. Like in terms of UCSF, it's medicine. In terms of educational university, it's educational department, educational degrees. So yeah, that's kind of like that. Lingnan University, I would say, mm, University of no, not that. I would say it's kind of like, mm, it's kind of like Wayne State. It's kind of like Wayne State. Like yeah, kind of like Wayne State, kind of like University of Alabama, kind of like that, in terms of its rankings and so on. Yeah, and like Henshin University, like now this university, Hong Kong Henshin University, this university is quite strange. It's quite one of its own, but I could say that it's kind of the new school, the new school, or Pepperdine, or yeah, or Pepperdine, in like New York. I think it's kind of like Pepperdine, or or the new school, kind of like that. And SFU, SFU is kind of like American University, I would say, but not the state of American University. It's just a chain of university, like a fast food chain. Now, Metropolitan University is just like, um, no, no. You know what? I think SFU is kind of like DeVry. I think it's kind of like the DeVry of, yeah, like the DeVry or American University in U.S. And Metropolitan University is kind of like New York City University, I would say, kind of like that. And Shue Yan University. Now this is a hard one because you have to find a bad university, in not necessarily bad, like a normal university in America. So I would say it's kind of like the University of Mississippi. Yeah, University of Mississippi, kind of like that. Yeah. So yeah, here is my rankings, and I hope you like it. Please subscribe, or please watch my videos and make a comment. I would love to see them, and I'll reply to every single one of the comments if you do. And I hope this video has helped you when you're trying to make your choice in Asia or overall in the world. So yeah, good luck to all you guys, and see you soon.